If you grew up in nerd culture, I have a question for you. How do you love yourself as a woman? Not as in if you are a nerd, you don't love yourself, but how do you do it? How do you do it when there's constant information coming in that you are not as valued, you are not as worthy, you need to be hot in order to be valued, that your sexuality is the only thing that's important. So if you don't have a sexuality that people can consume, then there's something wrong with you and you're not a proper nerd. If you aren't sexy and aren't dressing sexy and aren't okay with being objectified and aren't okay with female characters being objectified and aren't okay with being talked to like you are of less value and don't know as much. How do you look at big titty goth anime girls and say, like, yeah, that's not me, but like I still have value and I'm still worthy and I still deserve to exist? How do you have relationships with nerd men if you're heterosexual? And you're just constantly like, "Oh, yeah, I don't look anything like any of these characters, and, like, only if these characters are fuckable do people want to interact with them, and also, if people don't like a character, it's because they're not sexy or they are not being read as, like, conventionally attractive, and if a character is just seen as, like, normal looking, then they're ugly." How do you love yourself? And next question, how did you form a proper sexuality, like a proper relationship with your sexuality because of the constant messaging that says if you want to be treated as an equal, then there's something wrong with you. And if you have a female perspective that doesn't center men, then there's something wrong with you and you're not desirable. And if you have agency, if you have a voice, then you need to just get to the back and be subjugated and step and fall in line. And if you're objectified constantly, and being asked to center men constantly, and all of the characters that you love are either low key or high key objectified and underage and have weird stuff going on with the proportions of their body. Where does your sexuality fit into that? Where are you allowed to have agency with your sexuality? Where are you allowed to express your sexuality in a way that isn't heteronormative or focused on male pleasure, male access, and male interest? Just wondering.